Hello and welcome to College Success. My name is Matthew Poole, and today we're going over Chapter 8, Communicating. All of the following information is directly from OpenStax free resources online for college success. There will be a link in the description directly to this textbook. It is free and accessible. Anytime you need it, you can access it. Thank you to OpenStax. Let's begin. With so many individuals, subgroups, sections, soloists, sounds, variables, and technologies, an orchestra would be chaotic without someone directing, the conductor. Communication has a similar range of inputs and influences, and can become just as chaotic without direction. You need to be your own conductor and establish control in order to communicate effectively and productively. These are the sections we'll be going over today. 8.1, an overview of communication. 8.2, purpose of communication. 8.3, communication and technology. 8.4, the context of communication. And 8.5, barriers of effective communication. Here are some questions to consider. Number 1, I think my mobile device is effective and appropriate for most communication. Number 2, I have a good sense of how to communicate in different environments/situations. Number 3, I listen more than I talk. And number 4, I have a lot of experience with research projects and essays. Let me know in the comments if you relate to one of these questions. And let's see how it evolves throughout the duration of this chapter. Communicating. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. William H. White. Here are some items we're going to look into today. We're going to articulate the variables to communication, define the forms and purpose of communication, understand how technology has changed communication, discuss various contexts of communication, and describe barriers to effective communication. 8.1, an overview of communication. Do I think about the ways in which I communicate? Do I consider the variables present in every communication method and situation? Let's look into this. 2 definitions of communication. Firstly, a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. Communication is giving, receiving, or exchanging ideas, information, signals, or messages through appropriate media, enabling individuals or groups to persuade, to seek information, to give information, or to express emotions. Here are some variables of communication. Technology has created new rules for communication because of the different structures of communication. So you see somebody on the right texting their mom asking, what does IDK, LY, and TTYL mean? Mom, and so the response is, I don't know, love you, talk to you later. And the mom is confused. She says, okay, I will ask your sister. Obviously a barrier in communication there. Context of communication. To whom are you talking? Why are you talking to this person or people? What exactly do you hope to achieve? Listening. Hey, communication, it's a two-way street. Figure 8.11. Being a good listener takes practice and focus. To help, try to eliminate distraction and avoid giving too much advice or telling your own related stories, even if you're only listening to a brief summary after running into someone in the hallway. Do your best to internalize what they're saying. 8.2, purpose of communication. Why does everything I say or write have a purpose? Do I expect a response or a result from my communication? And do I change how I communicate depending on what response I want or need? The difference between the right word and almost the right word is the difference between lightning and the lightning bug. Mark Twain. Does everything I say or write have a purpose? Do I expect a response or a result from my communication? What do I bring to my communication with others? 8.3, communication and technology. Is technology vital to your ability to communicate well? Are there rules to follow when using communication technology? How do you take control of your online communication? Netiquette. Don't write emails, post to social media sites, or talk in chat rooms in all caps. Caps can be interpreted as screaming or talking in a very loud voice. Don't make fun of others. Apologize if someone was offended and did not hear what you were saying in the way you meant it. When stating a strong opinion, it is not a bad idea to use the abbreviation of IMHO, in my humble opinion. It might keep people from reacting strongly right back at you. Remember, no one can hear your tone of voice or see your facial expressions, so use words carefully to get your message across. Be respectful of your audience with the level of familiarity used. Ways to take control of your online communication, figure 8.2. Howard Rheingold explores ways we can consider our use and consumption of media technology, such as social media, in terms of 5 literacy areas. Asking ourselves questions will lead us to thoughtfully consider how an online environment may be changing us and our relationships. Looking at the figure to the left, we have attention, participation, collaboration, network awareness, and critical consumption. With attention, how aware are you about who and what is around you? How focused are you on information or people? Participation, how are you responding, voting, providing information, generating content? Collaboration, in what ways are you working with others through a technology or medium? For what purpose and outcomes are you cooperating? Are there times when you avoid cooperation? Network awareness. What communities are you joining through your online interactions? Whom are you inviting, intentionally or unintentionally, to learn about you and possibly influence you? What ideas, information, influence, and emotions are you giving and taking from these extended networks? Finally, critical consumption. From what sources are messages and information flowing to you? How reliable and factual are those sources? Finally, what are their motivations and goals in saying or doing certain things? Network awareness, figure 8.2. Do you follow influencers? What is their impact on you? Evolving our strategies to match our evolving technologies. Communication has changed because of the way we're using technology. So, for example, fewer nonverbal cues, can't see hand gestures during phone conversations, and no tone of voice in text messaging. Get connected. The Verge published a how-to guide on checking facts and sources online, provided by an OpenStax link there. Social network addiction, also provided by OpenStax. And finally, 6 ways social media change the way we communicate. 8.4, the context of communication. Does my form of communication change in certain situations? Do I use an altered style of talking when I'm with different people? As well, what role does listening play in communication? Does my form of communication change in certain situations? The circumstances surrounding a message provide the context. Your area, your career area, work environment, its accepted style of dress, and the relationships with your colleagues or clients all add context to your communication. Do I use an altered style of talking when I'm with different people? Think about what you want to say and why, and reflect on with whom you are attempting to communicate. Emotional intelligence. Recognizing your own emotions and those of others will help you avoid miscommunication as well. Listening is a communication action. Our communication includes both sending and especially receiving messages. Unfortunately, we often don't take the time to focus on the latter part. 8.5, barriers to effective communication. Words are the source of misunderstandings. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, The Little Princess. Preconceptions and assumptions. Have you ever thought about the message you are conveying to others? How do you play into others' preconceptions simply based on your appearance? Precision of communications is important, more important than ever. In our era of hair trigger balances, when a false or misunderstood word may create as much disaster as a sudden thoughtless act. James Thurber. How can identities and experiences lead to communication barriers? Gender identity, age, cultural background, religion, and family. Rethinking. I think my mobile device is effective and appropriate for most communication. I have a good sense of how to communicate in different environments/situations. I listen more than I talk. I have a lot of experience with research projects and essays. I'm curious how those statements have evolved over the course of this chapter since the beginning. Let me know in the comments. This OpenStax ancillary resource is copyright of Rice University under a CC by 4.0 or Attribution International License. It may be reproduced or modified, but must be attributed to OpenStax, Rice University, and any changes must be noted. Thank you to OpenStax for providing this free resource for students and learners alike. You can find a link to the textbook in the description below. All of the following is directly from OpenStax free resources for instructors. Thank you, OpenStax. And thank you for tuning in to this chapter 8, and we will see you in the next one for chapter 9. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.